G'day everyone. Today I'm speaking with Edison Chen from Cudis. Now, we got a bit to get through. You guys are dropping a white paper. By the time this is recorded, this should be like basically as of the time of when this episode comes out. Um, let's just get straight into it. Talk to me about Cudis, the ring, what it is, how it works, what it does.
100%. So first, I want to thanks Tom to having me here, and super happy to be here to talk more about the Cudis and something new that about us, and also the history about us. We've been started building the Cudis since 2023, and we launched the first generation 2024 April, the second generation 2024 December. So far, we sold 15,000 rings and got a around 200,000 of the application users. And I think now, like when you get it like a Solana conference or events like summit, you can see a lot of people wearing the Cudis ring. And so when we start building this, we 100% want to see that um, if everyone can own the money through the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all the stable coins, and all the other cryptos. Why now we can own our health data, right? By through the blockchain. So I'm big fan of the wearables, and I'm a big fan of the sports. I was graduated from UCLA and watch the game every night, and play basketball and go to the gym. That's my thing. And so at the day one that we're thinking, if we want to build something like that, like the get everybody can own their house data, we have to build a hardware, to make sure everybody can, getting their raw data through the hardware we build and tracking every day, and then we can help them to own their data on chain. And later on, we think that's when we start building it, we find out that the house data is like a huge needs, not just for individual, but also for a lot of other institutions. So we can see that there's a great synergy in the future that we connect together with the Cudis user and also our partners, and to reduce the huge cost of the healthcare, and also for individual the cost of the being healthier, happier, and a better life. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I was reading through your white paper, and you've got the actual Cudis ring itself, the actual fitness wearable, but there's a protocol that's coming out
Yeah.
that's attached to it. You're calling it the world's
Yeah.
first longevity protocol. Can you talk to me
Yeah.
about how longevity and protocol fit together as two ideas?
Yes, sir. So when we talk about like the best part of the house of the everybody, I think it's not just like us like being young and healthy, but also when we get to like 80, 90, hundreds, we can still be able to run and having fun with friends and party, drink, eat, and
Hell yeah.
like
Sounds good.
yeah,
If I'm
yeah,
doing that
yes,
at
sir.
90,
So
like things have gone well. Yeah.
yeah, maybe not the same way to party, but still, we are able to, get out from the bed and go out with friends. You're having some fun, play some football, rugby, not that intense, but having some fun, right? So what we can see here that it's not just about the how long you can live, but how better you can live when you're getting old, right? So when we define the longevity, we not define like we get you to live to like 140, 150, 200, right? We want to get you to have longer health spans, and when you
Mm.
get to like elder stage, right? So based on that, we definitely 100% like we talk to a lot of the scientists, professor, researchers. We find out the one thing that as long as we can invest a little bit more at our early stage, we don't get like too wasted or burn out at the early stage, and we start like investing into ourselves, into our health every day, then it's got a better chance when we get to the elder stage, we can have better body and better mental health and all this. So when we find out this, we think it's perfect match with what Qt is building and what is Qt is about, right?
Mm.
If you look at the Qt string, it's sold at $349. So which means if you just use for a year, you just invest less than $1 every day to your life. but I can sure that a lot of our users already, you know, getting the value more than $1 every day by using the Cudis Ring.
Mm.
So we don't do any substitution, but what we can find out is that when people start using the Cudis Ring or app, I know you're using the Garmin. You can actually try out to connect Garmin, yes sir, with the
Yeah.
Cudis app, because we are now open the app to the other wearables and also the health app to connect
Mm.
everybody to with the Cudis app. So the ultimate goal here is not just selling the ring. Okay,
Mm.
so the ultimate goal here is helping people to get into the longevity in an accessible way and in an affordable way. A lot of people watch about the Brian Johnson's Netflix and learn about Brian Johnson's story, and everybody think, oh, longevity is for the few, right? The
Yep.
ultra wealthy, right? The billionaires. Yeah, not for me, not for us, not for normal people, general consumer. But what we find out is not the case. It's actually not true. Yeah, I would say what we're seeing here is that longevity is actually just like a language as we are learning other language, you know.
Mm.
So you learn more about okay, what is about my sleep, right? What is deep sleep, light sleep, REM, and wake, and what is RHR, what is HRV? What about my stress level, right? What about my calorie stats and how they affect my body? And what else the nutrition I am lack of or I need to take more, right?
Mm.
So I'm more fitted to the getting more protein every day, or I'm more fitted to getting more veggie every day, right? Which is the fiber, right? Like underneath. So ultimate things here is that we can find out that longevity is not about just about like using all this ultra advanced technology, to do the injection or taking some super supplements every day, but it can be very very simple. And at
Mm.
the same time that we think what we are building here is a rewarding mechanism and also the system here, right? When people
Mm.
are getting healthier, we reward with them, and the reason why we can reward them because we help them to own the data, and we help them to realize that the value of their health data, and at the same time we can make some money, and at the same time that the user can be rewarded from us and also from our partners. So
Okay.
that's actually the underneath like everyday thinking, and also how people can be benefits from the protocol that Qt is launching, the first rewarding longevity protocol. We want people to see, as long as you can invest in the time and a little bit more money to yourself, into your health and the body and the mental health, and then in long term you see the results. And at the same time, the whole protocol is not just about the ring, not just about the app, but it's also about something more. So we're actually building a new hub, and we'll say maybe in the future it get bigger, become an ecosystem. We're getting more longevity product and services here. So let's say last month we did a methylation test in Hong Kong consensus together with our community, and more than 80 people get a methylation test. And the reason why we're doing that is that we realize a lot of people see, my heard about like methylation is help you to realize your biological age and the age of your organs, and also the risk of your health exposure, all this. But at the end of the day, not many people tried it before, right? And it was
Mm.
very very costly. It was like $500 for once, and $1,000 for four times every year if you go with a true diagnostic, right?
Mm.
And people will notice that because Brian Johnson launched a rejuvenation like Olympics,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I pretty like it. Personally, I pretty
Mm.
like it. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty fun to get to know more about yourself, right? And then oh, my heart is okay, but my liver is not okay, and maybe some part is great, but some part I need to really take care about it, right? Because when we buying the supplements, how we buy it, right? We are not sure. Okay, do I need to like omega-3, or do I need to like get some like supplements for my liver because I'm drink a lot? So that's something I think people, or get something from my brain, right? So that's something
Mm.
people don't really know about it, because there's no number or no stats to show what's your condition within, right? So that's So that's something we want to do. Maybe in the future we can get every one of our community member with a very very low cost of masturbation test and get everybody to know more about themselves, right? And then starting from knowing more about yourself, and you start using any wearable. You can use in Cudis Ring, you can use in Garmin, Fitbit, Aura, Whoop, and you can use that with the Cudis app as well, right? And then we help you keep you on track to see maybe after 6 months how you're doing, right? We call it quantify yourself, right? So you can see, okay, did I sleep enough? How's my stress level? How's my other things? And then get to that point, we can help you to do another masturbation test, and you can see the comparison during that 6 months or even like 12 months. How's your change there, right? And
Mm.
all this progress, I think, is very valuable for everybody, right?
Yep.
So
Oh man, I'm totally hooked on the like the wearable data side of things. Like I'm not.
yeah,
Um, it started with running, and then I realized that if you get a decent wearable, like I got the Garmin Phoenix 6,
yeah,
just for like long distance running, but like the actual sleep mapping, heart rate variability, those really core things. Um, Very, very valuable and just good to know because otherwise you can easily lose
yeah,
track of how things are
yeah.
going. You can have a week of really terrible sleep and feel
Yes,
okay, but then look back and go like, "Ooh, I really need to I need to fix that." So
exactly.
what I do really want to like get onto here is the actual earning mechanism for users
Yeah,
because this is something I remember. I'm not sure so I may have to edit this out, but I think it was like Polaris or Polar. I've forgotten the actual brand, but they do
yeah,
watches
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
They got in a bit of hot water for essentially sharing user data, not telling people how they were going to sell it, not telling people where it was going to, who
mhm,
was going to own it, whether or not they're giving it to life insurance companies, like the stuff that people
yeah,
have a good reason to be skeptical of, thinking like, oh, I
yeah,
wear this every day, I wear it to bed, I don't want some random company knowing that Tom is sleeping poorly, and I can probably target him
exactly.
with medication or treatments when he's older for poor sleep. Like I
Yeah,
don't, that's not what I want to do. So
yeah,
how is
100%.
the protocol itself
Yeah,
monetizing data, and then
yeah,
how is it giving money back to users? Because I feel like that's not standard in the fitness industry. It's take the data, sell it, and the users
yeah.
more just kind of like the farm for the data.
100%. Yeah. Let's get into that part. So
Hmm.
when we talk about like earning executives, right? It's actually we're not selling users data. Okay. So we actually, in a way, we help user to own their data on chain, and they know, oh, I'm owning my data, right? And then there's a lot of potential partner comes to talk to us, right? Said, oh, hey, Curious that I want to tap into your community. Your community seems like pretty high quality, and you know, everybody likes pretty active and posting content about everything that, uh, and also looks like early adopter to a lot of new techs, right? So we would love to talk, tap into them. Can you guys share the data with us? We say no, we can't. But we can connect you guys with your community to see how they want to have fun with you guys, right? So you can post a class, right, saying, okay, I want to have like 1,000 people, like male or female, what the age group and where they're from, and get into try our new supplements, right? Or get them to try our new wearables or new services, new program like weight loss or like mental health, all this, right? And we will get these to inform our community members, and they can choose: do I want to share my data with them? Let me see. Okay, what's the incentive here, right? Are they paying us like a cash, or they paying us like in the token for the future, or are they paying us with the benefits of their product or services, right? So that's the first part. So when we connect the partners and with our users, they can directly see, okay, what they get out of from it, right?
Hmm.
Partner is very simple. They want to get the data and they want to get the user, right? And for user also very simple. They want to get some benefits, right? Either cash reward, token reward, or the product service reward, right? So that's the first part about the earning executives. And second part is that we're building the whole protocol and the data hub and also the whole infrastructure. In the long term goal, we're not trying to get everybody to our platform, but we want to help other platform as well, right?
Okay.
Because we know there's million of user on top 100 application on the Apple Store, right? And all of them, I think, could have like huge data. There's no need we get them to bridge all their data or their users' data to us, right? The more I think to make them different is we helping them to get them know or get their users to know you are not like stealing my data, right? You're not
Mm.
sharing the data with someone else, right? Because like Tom, like your experience before, right? Whenever there's a health app ask you about the rights about using your data, you'll be, oh my God,
No.
like what are you gonna do about it, right?
Yep.
No, right? But with us, even they want to use it, user can be like comfortable to share with them because they know where the data goes, right? Like
Mm.
through the user on the data on chain, they will know, okay, did they take my data to somewhere else, right? So that's something we want to help on this whole industry, right? We can support them with the whole infra we built here right now, and we help them to encrypt it, store, custodian, and help them to like help their user to own their data in their app, right? And
Mm.
then whenever they can run their business smoothly, right? They not everybody come to ask us, oh, I want to use your data, I want to use your users data, right? I want to make the business make a deal with you. But it's gonna become like all these partner can go through all these other house app, and they can make business with them, right? And
Mm.
the reason why user at that moment would love to share and would love to benefit together, not just company make money but the user also make money together, would be because of that, the Qt help them to own the data. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's gonna be the second part of the earning. So the whole protocol helping like the whole industry, all the other health app and the health data related like platform, to get a chance to work together with their user to own the data. And the third part going to be the reward from us. So we onboarding more user, we onboarding more partners, and also they are the only reason that why Qt have the value, right? So that we are building the token, we are building the ecosystem, and at the same time that we use our token to reward the user and also reward our partners, so they can, when they're using the Qt like protocol, they generating their revenue and they're sharing with us, sharing with the users, but at the same time they got rewarded from us as well. So that's how we work at the whole way. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the rewards from you guys, how's that working? Is it like a points scheme that then goes into the token? I don't know how
Yep.
much you could share. Like it's difficult to ask
Yeah.
these questions pre-TGE. Like, hey, what's all
Yeah.
the alpha? How do I get the most money?
Yes.
But for the actual mechanism of it, like how are the points being distributed to users? What kind of activity does it prioritize or incentivize?
So we've been launched the product for about a year, and our user already familiar with that. By using the you know, by using the Cudis Ring and the Cudis app, they can earning the points, right? And based on the points, they will get the different token airdrop once we get to the TGE, right? But at the same time, we're going to launch something different. We want to onboard more partners as well. So the partner can help us to building the platform, right? They bring their product, bring their services, and they provide more things to our users
Hmm.
together, right? And at the same time that when we launch the protocol, we also need the validator and nodes runners to work together with us to make sure the whole protocol is running at a decentralized and also like a trustless way. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's why we need them, and at the same time that we definitely reward them with running the protocol together with us. And at the user level, it's pretty simple. Get a ring, get an app. Just play around with it, and you will earn more. Yeah. So
Okay.
and at the same time that we will say 100% the user's health data asset is core value of us, right? So what we trying to hear, why we reward them? We want them to know your data is valuable, right?
Mm.
Make sure you own your data. And at this moment, it's just a small group of people, maybe just like 100,000, not even a million yet. But once it get to like a million and or 5 or 10 million users, think about it. They're gonna ask all the other like a platform or house data related app to have these features, right? And
Mm.
at that moment, we're gonna go really, really big. So what we see here that we want to drive everybody to have awareness about, our data worse, right? Because I have to say, when it comes to the ownership of the house data, most of people don't care. Sometimes
Yeah.
even I don't care that much, right? Because I before Cudis, I have no way to own my house data, right? And
Mm.
I don't know how to realize it, right? And somebody use my data, I don't even know how to stop them, right?
Yeah.
Even there's some like a legal like a progress that you can take or legal procedures that you can do, but how can I like stop my job or working,
Yeah.
right? And
So
and spending like 30, 40, days, to work on that and to get that appeal to all these things, right?
yeah.
So, but now what we want to show people that if you want to get to a better, healthier, and happier life, like in terms of like live longer, live better, and you don't need to you know invest millions there, right? Then
Yep.
your house debt are going to become the one help you to pay, right? It's just like a lot of people buying a lot of house, right? The house pay your rent, and the rent keep you like going after your retirement, right? So the house is a very simple idea. So once everybody own their house data, and whenever there's a product you're trying to use, you share them. Okay, here, look at this. This is my longevity uh, uh, decentralized identifier LDID from Cudis, right? So they will see, oh, you got a lot of the data can share with us, right? We would love to get you to try out our product for a year, right? And then you don't need to spend like $5,000, $10,000 on some, you know, supplements or like services because you are rewarded because you're part of them to help them grow, right?
Mm.
So that's how we want to do in the future. So which we see based on the first, 1 through 3 stage of the rewarding program, uh, we're getting more people on board to realize the value of their health data and at the same time get them into the journey of longevity. And at the long run, they will just, keep going themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm very like precautious with data. It started. I read a book called The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana
Yeah.
Zuboff a few years
Hmm.
ago, and it was just one of those ones where I was like, I already had an inkling that data was being used in a way that wasn't exactly kosher, and then I was like, I became
Hmm.
a lot more skeptical. But the more self-interested part of me is always like, oh man, if I could be cut into the data being sold and earn some money from it, that would make it, it would be less insult to injury as well. I do just think
Yeah.
like, hey, if you had a rev share program, I don't care. Like sell it to whoever, but
Yeah.
just if I could have a few schmeckles in the process, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
So no, I think this is one of those crypto use cases that you look at and think like, okay, finally, someone's actually doing something with blockchain tech that makes sense. Because it
Yeah.
gets bandied around a lot, this idea of like, oh, use blockchain data to protect, sorry, blockchain technology to protect personal data. And then you actually look at the protocols that do it, and it just kind of falls flat, or it turns into a speculation engine on the other side, like Steppen back in the
Hmm.
day, where it's like move to earn, everyone buys the NFTs, but no one's doing it because they actually have, you know, a long-lasting incentive at the bottom of it. Of like, oh, here's my health data, I would like to protect it, and I can earn some money in the process. But it's not the mint NFTs, hope they go up a lot, and then flip them. So no, very
100%.
interesting. Um, as I said before, I'm a big Garmin guy. If I was to get a Cudis, would it be like, do you imagine yourself as a competitor to these guys, or do you
Hmm.
imagine it more as like a complementary product? Because this is something
Yeah.
that I've faced with just wearing this. I've done a lot of mixed martial arts in the past, and it's not
Hmm.
something you can wear in the gym, especially like for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or anything along that. Like you just end up smacking people in the face. I've never
Yeah.
worn it. Um, but I
Yeah.
was trying to use the Aura Ring for a bit. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but a lot of those products are subscription only. and I'm just
yeah,
like Whoop is subscription only, and I cannot own another subscription product. I refuse. I'm like,
yeah,
no, I want to own the
yeah,
thing. I'm not paying a
yeah,
monthly fee forever
yeah,
to wear
yeah,
something. I'm
yeah,
sorry, can't do it.
yeah. I feel it. Yeah, I have to say that I'm very similar. I'm using the Whoop, I'm using the Aura, and so I think one thing bothers me that I'm okay to pay the subscription if I think the value is a perfect match with myself, right?
Mm,
But it turns out that the subscription fee I'm paying for is for fundamental tracking every day that I have, right? So I think that's something should be grant to the user when they buy the product, right?
mm,
So when it comes to the Cudis Ring, we just ask people for the one-time fee for the payment of the ring, right? And maybe in the future we will launch some premium services. Let's say longevity course, or say
mm,
some like consulting around your fitness plan, health plan. Only if you need it. We have an AI coach there, and we are keep building on the AI coach. We try to get people to know, like, let's say, usually if you go to like a very high end gym. You take like a 100 course coach session within the gym, right? And usually I'll say the first 30 it doesn't make most of the sense because they're trying to teach you the very, very fundamental right
yeah.
things, and you can actually learn it from the YouTube channel, or you can learn it from yourself, right?
Mm,
So we want to reduce costs for user for the like first 30 or even first 50 coach session, right? Only with our AI coach, because we are upgrading the AI coach into an AI agent cluster. So which means everyone can have their own customized coach. Recently, I read a book about the Bill Guilford. It talked about longevity. One thing I think is very important is personalize. Everybody need
mm,
a personalized plan and program about like how you want to build around longevity, building your own program. Because my program might not work for you, and you like Tom's program might not work for another guy, right? Because we are all like very different. We have all different habit and different hobby, and so that's something we've been noticed and realized. So what we're trying to do here is that when we provide the premium services, it has to make sense to user. It has to be like, oh, based on user like perspective, you know what, Curious, I need a session with longevity coach, or with my
mm,
fitness coach, or with a weight loss program, and I would love to pay like a $10, $20 or $100, so that's somewhere we want to make business around. Is more like that, it's more like we want to trying to find a way to fulfill users needs based on like um, you know they what they want, right? And so that's the first thing. And the second thing, that we don't see ourselves like 100% compatible with all these other wearables, like what I mentioned before. We see ourselves like um, I I'll say co-pilot, or like working together with partners with these wearables in the future. That's what we see possible. But yeah, for sure. Currently in this stage, when we sell in the ring, 100% we kind of like compatible. I mean, no, I mean like competitors to these wearables,
mm.
but we also compatible together with them. Think
Yep.
about it like two way. In your daily life, you're wearing your garment to run, right? To do most of outdoor sports. And when you go back and sleep, some of the user I know, when they're using the garment, they don't want to wear the garment to sleep. You
It
can
took
you
me
can
it
you
took me a long time to get used to wearing it to
Yes, sir.
bed, but
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Especially for a very long time, and you sleep over like 6 8 hours, you risk feel like not that comfortable, right? So at
yeah,
that moment, you can use the Cudis ring, for sleep, right? And
mm,
for stress tracking, because the ring is very, very, non-destructive, and not like try to interrupt you like anytime, right? Because it's very small, very light, and very comfortable. So for us, what we see that, you know in the system wide, we're compatible with like Android, like iOS, and also Saga phones, and very crypto native devices. That's also like within the app, we also allow users to connect their other house data and the wearable data from other apps to the Cudis app, right? So you can see, oh, how my data goes from other side, right? So we're trying to make it more fit into like people's life, not technology wise, data wise, but also like lifestyle wise, right? So that's what we can see. We don't see ourselves like, oh, if Garmin win, we lose. If like Aura win, we lose. Or if Oop win, we lose. No, we don't see it at that way. Because based on the research data and what we can see that there's about like 600 million of the wearable users, and but we are consuming like more than 1.4 billion of the wearable devices. So which means most of people have more than one or two wearable devices, right?
Mm.
So we're not trying to see we just want to be the only one, because I know all the different wearables has very, very different position. And if I'm go out for like outdoor sports, I might take the Garmin, I might take the Apple Watch. That's possible, right? But for a lot of the scenario and cases, I think the Cudis Ring also fits in people's life. So that's what we see how we position ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, forgive me if this is a silly question, but is the Cudis protocol, is that its own blockchain or is it running as like just a protocol sitting on top of an L1 pre-existing already?
Yes,
Is it on Sol, Ethereum? What's the go?
yeah. Yeah, now we build everything on Solana. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So far we see
You're in
the
safe
Solana
hands
has.
here. I'm a Solana guy, so it's fine.
Oh
I'm good
yeah,
with it. Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. So far we can see that Solana has great capacity and functionality to help us to running the Qt protocol, and we can see that it's very viable right now. Yeah, we've
Yep.
been talking to a lot of the I talked to Mert, and he had been sharing me about a lot of things about like what's the next about Solana and how it can be better and faster. So we can see so far by deploying the protocol on Solana is a great choice, and we've been building on here for more than 2 years. So far we think that there's no need yet for us to launching our own let's say longevity layer. You know, I,
Yep.
I don't want to make a longevity layer because it can worth like billions of dollars. I think that doesn't make any sense, right?
Yep.
I think we only even need to get to that point if we need it, right? Only like a Solana doesn't make sense for us in that moment, and then we build a layer for longevity. That's possible, but so far for now, I think longevity is a application. It's application for a lot of things combined. So based on this application, I think it could be the super application on Solana, and it could be pretty affordable and accessible for everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the big thing that I think a lot of people have been holding out for with um, Solana essentially is looking at a consumer app that comes along on the network because everyone's always been kind of like, hey, it's coming. So no, it'll be interesting to see how it grows and develops. You've been in crypto since 2016. What does that kind of journey look like going from, getting involved initially all the way to here now being the CEO of Cudis? Um, I'd love to hear about how you got started and then how you figured out that, oh, we can actually do fitness wearable tech and use
hmm
blockchains in the back end. So, yeah, run me through that.
Yeah, for sure. So before I start my journey in the crypto, I built my first company, and I sold it, and then I
Mhm.
go back to the UCLA to finish my last year, and my friends share me a white paper, about the Bitcoin, and I was read about it. I was like, wow, that's something that I need to have, because I was studying the geography, so most likely the political science, economy, like
Huh.
uh, like cultural geography and also the anthropology things. So all these telling me that the centralized, right? There's some pros and cons, right?
Mm.
And so from my side, I was feel like, oh, the whole decentralized crypto things could be another choice or another option for the humankind, right? So at that moment, we start buying the Bitcoin, and then well, we noticed the Ethereum and start buying the Ethereum, data, and then we start investing some like a small check into the all the different like projects, including like Anchor, Phantom, Solana, and some
Anchor.
like
Yeah. I remember.
yeah, man. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. So yeah, I mean, we invest like 100 of the projects, and we got a lot of rocks at that moment, and the ICO was a crazy moment at that moment, and then like 2018, 2019 is bear market, and we start reflecting ourselves, right? What did
Mm.
we did wrong and what did we right, and then I noticed the consumer tag. So I had a couple of friends were trying to running their own like startup and to work in the consumer tech sectors, and I write them like a personal check as an angel, and then they become really, really big after 3 5 years, and then I realized that, oh my god, like when it comes to 2021, it was like there's a high peak about the all the consumer tech and the consumer brands, and then I realized, okay, not just crypto but the consumer business can be really, really big here, right? And
Mm.
I'm also investing in the one of the largest, I would say the largest Bitcoin miner company, BMan, and not a big check, but I started learning more about like how crazy the crypto and physical uh, like a product combined in a way can unleash all the economic value and the power of this synergy.
Mm.
But at that moment, I was thinking, okay, if one day we can figure out there's a better consumer product that can fit in people's life, then it could be something very, very big. And then when it comes to, so between 2021 and 2023, I'm trying to learn more. So I work with a venture capital, help them to manage like $200 million fund, mainly focus on the crypto, consumer tech, global brand business. I'm trying to learn more about, supply chain, how to do the brand business, and how this could work. And and then one day I was sitting there talking to my friends about like oh, you are also using the like Aura. Like, what if the Aura don't charge you anymore, but pay you back every day, or say like every quarter? You don't need
Mm.
to pay them, but they pay you. How you feel about it? And they were like, "Wow, why not?" Right? Like, I
Mm.
would definitely try it out. So then I'm thinking, yeah, why not? Right? Then we go back and we think that combining the wearable technology together uh, with the blockchain, and also unleashing the power of the health data and helping people to uh, get into a better, happier, healthier life in lower cost is actually something really meaningful, right? Because I
Mm.
was at the moment spending $4 or $5,000 on a personal coach every month, and I would think it's like ridiculous. I can do like a year, but I cannot do like like
Yeah.
all my lifetime, right? So what? And then I was also tap into the AI a lot, and I work with a lot of my alumni and friends in the Silicon Valley, help them to build their startup on the AI sector. So then we find out a way that we can like connect all the dots together, we can actually bring something very, very different and meaningful to the user. So that's
Mm.
how the whole thing's here. And 100%, like if you talk about like rewarding system or the mechanism, I'll say nothing better than using the crypto as a way, right? So that's, I think, how my previous experience and how my journey in the crypto affect the idea that the concept that we're trying to build the Cudis here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Was there anything else that you wanted to add in here before we finish up?
Yeah, actually, that I think one more thing I want to add on is that we're thinking. So a lot of people ask me like, why longevity, right? House
Mm.
data is already big, right? Because what we're trying to see here that at the end of the day, you need to build the things that people really want and desire,
Mm.
right? So people don't know that much about house data, and people might not desire about house data. Some of the house nuts desire. I desire. Maybe you desire too, right?
Yeah.
We want to know. We want to know
Yep.
about ourselves because we know how that is us, right? But when it comes to the longevity, I think there's more people can understand, right? Everybody want to see, oh, longevity, not bad. Like how much for it, right? To get into the program, or how can I be there, right? Or how this can benefit myself, right? So I think using and working together with the longevity, this term is actually really can reflect the value the Qt can bring to the people, right? Because we are thinking, oh, we need to get a lot of partners to work with us to bring a great product to the user. But we need one thing big enough, and also one thing that everybody can understand and desire to
Mm,
work together with us, right? So in terms of that, we're thinking a rewarding longevity protocol is actually the people will perfectly understand, and they definitely want to know and be part of it and try to grow together with us, right? So, and also at the same time, that's something we want, right? We also, when we building the Cudis, I always saying that if somehow that when we building the Cudis and we got like a worse health condition, then we are not building anything here, right? We actually need to build something, you know, not just for everybody, but also for us, right? To live a
mm.
better, healthier, happier life. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one thing I want to add on. So we want to bring actually the longevity lifestyle to everybody to help everybody out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is something that I've seen with there was a very it was a comedian fairly recently that I saw who was kind of having a go at a certain part of the longevity movement that's more just
Yeah.
focused on extending lifespan rather than extending health span. And I
Yeah.
think the term was he was like, if you're just making everyone older, which, no one wants to just be like old forever.
Yeah. I
The term he
understand.
used was you're adding crust to the pizza. And I thought that was
Yeah.
a good way of kind of
Wow.
imagining
I
that
like this one. I like
health
this one.
span versus lifespan because it is that thing of like you
Yes,
can
sir.
live till you're 150, but it's like if I'm 90 years old for 60 more years, I want no part in it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maybe even, when kids become really big and we can onboard a lot of the longevity product and services, maybe even in or 80, 90, we can look just like this, right? I think that could be something really, worth building around it, right? I think, and
Mm.
that's make us feel like, okay, I want to live a little bit longer if I can be like this, right? And so that's something that we think, you know, require and or maybe could be the something we can build for decades. Yeah, because that's something people actually want. Yeah.
Where can people keep up to date with Kudus and you?
Yeah, 100%. So if you're not with Cudis yet, feel free to go on the Cudis.xyz to get your ring and also download the app. And if you want to know more about the Cudis, you can get on the Twitter, Cudis Cudis Wellness, Wellness. So at the Cudis Wellness on Twitter, that we will share everything firsthand there. Yeah. So feel free to join us.
Okay, awesome. Edison, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, Tom.